I'll try to explain this quickly. You can find more videos on YouTube for more detailed explanations, but basically I'm going to explain the green parts. So basically all you need to know is that, when you have a to the power of half, that relates to a square root of a. Maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't, but now you do. Now similarly, use the same pattern. So if it's 1 over 3, it's cube root of a. Now a little fact that you might have not known, this is a square root. It has an invisible 2. Whenever it doesn't have a 2 or a number written there, we always assume it's a square root because that's the standard root. When it has a 3 over here, it's called a cubed root. If it has a 4, it's a quadruple root, I think you call, which looks something like this, a to the power of a quarter. So in general, as you can see in this rule over here, you can see that, if a has a power of 1 over n, it's going to be the nth root of that a. That's just all you need to know. So write those green boxes down. Now, in a more of a general case, if we have a to the power of m over n, so this we used to write 1, but we're going to even generalize this further and write m. This actually turns into, so remember we know that n turns into an nth square root, nth root I should say. And then what also happens is the base goes in here, and this m value actually ends up going into the consideration as well. So it actually ends up over here. So the a gains a power of n. Now in our previous case over here, because our m value was 1, there was an imaginary 1 there. Not imaginary, invisible I should say. And because we don't like to write it, it just looks like this. Okay? So let's write as a single power of 2. So example 18, let's give it a go. So we've learned lots of things. So for a, you should be able to tell hopefully that it should be written as 2 to the power of 1 over 3. Because there's a cubed root sign there, and then there's a little invisible 1 there. For b, first of all, I want you to manipulate some data first. We want to make sure that it's not, actually we need to convert it and then make sure it's not in a fraction form. So leave it into a fraction form, square root 2, you know that it should be written as 2 to the power of a half. Now we don't want it as a fraction, so all I have to do is flip it above the fraction line, meaning I have to just write it as 2 to the power of a minus a half. So it gains the power of a minus. C, alright, pretty similar. I have to make sure I convert this 4 into a base of 2 so I can factor out factor trees. So 4 is 2 squared. I figured that out. So I can rewrite 5 and then 2 to the power of 2. And then using this last rule over here, we should be able to write 2. Okay. And then this 5 goes at the bottom of the fraction. And then this 2 goes at the top of the fraction. It looks like this. Okay. These are a little bit tricky to get your head around the first time, so please come and ask me for more help if you need it. So you should now be able to do these questions. Use your calculators to evaluate, correct 6 decimal places. So practice using this. So you might need some help putting this in. I'll show you. Just press a little hat button and then put your fraction sign and then chuck those values in. So your A should be 2.6, 6 decimal places, my goodness. 0.16 I reckon mine is. B, so make sure you make it look exactly the same, if not you're going to get the wrong answer. So in order to get a something root, there's just above the hat sign, just near the exit, there's shift, and then you should be able to see the little button that has more options. So my answer looks something like this. Hopefully yours do too. So make sure you actually do these in your calculators when you're watching these. Don't just like copy it down for the sake of it, okay? Right, so now with this one, without using a calculator, write in simplest rational form. Fun. Okay, I'm just going to leave some more space. Okay, so with this one, you've got to manipulate the data. So I'm going to start by simplest rational form. So I'm going to start by maybe moving it, the 8 to the simplest base, which probably is 2. So 2 times 4, 2 times 2. So 8 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 to the power of 3. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 4 over 3. What that changes to is using index laws. It goes 3 times 4 over 3. So what happens is these two cancel out. So you get 2 to the power of 4. And this looks like simplest rational form. Maybe I could just, so I've got to do 2 to the power of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. So that's my answer, I reckon. B. So again, I'm going to try to write 27 as the simplest. 3 times 9, 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 times 3. So I can rewrite it as 3 to the power of 3 to the power of minus 2 over 3, which is the same as 3 to the power of 3. There's a lot of 3's here. Times minus 2 over 3. These two cancel out, so it becomes 3 to the power of minus 2. So I can write that as 1 over 3 over 3 to the power of 2, which is the same as 3 times 3, which is 1 over 9. There we go. And that's it. You should be able to do every single question